Hey.
What's up?
Hey, how are
Yes,
you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Yes, ma'am. So what did you want to bring up today?
So, the transgender bathroom situations, those videos you made,
Sure.
I agree. So, and I feel like I'm in a weird space with this because I'm pro everybody. Do what you want to do, live your life, however you identify, I believe you, unless, not Rachel Dolezal, within reason in that sense. But because like I know people like to focus on the extreme cases of like for example, I think where the ladies were at the Korean spa with the family and the guy was like you could tell was like purposely trying to take advantage of the situation and say I identify just so he could identify, just so he could be a creep. Like
Mhm.
I don't know how we can fight those reasonably, especially in an environment to make like they have a family section, they have a male and a female anything goes section. I don't know, and to stay away from
Are, are
that.
are are you a female?
I am a female,
You want to use a female
biologically.
changing room?
I'm sorry, say it again.
You want to use a female changing room?
Yeah, I could use a female change. Honestly, I could change anywhere as long as there's a stall.
Okay.
If
So you
there's a
have no
stall,
preference. What if there's no stalls? It's a
if there's
Korean
no
spa.
stalls, I'd prefer to change around other biological females.
Okay. I don't believe you're a biological female.
Okay.
I don't want to
See,
let you in.
I mean, I get the point. I do
No, no.
get it because
I don't want to
I'm not,
let you in. I
I'm
don't
not
want.
going to be checking people's
I don't
private
want to
parts.
let you in the female bathroom.
See, yeah, it's like so. I'm saying I get it. Like you have to.
So so
That's why I said like
so what do we
you
do?
have to be like you have to identify. Well, I guess you can't. You still can't control it. You
No,
can't
no, I
police.
don't care how you identify. You're not a female, so I feel like you shouldn't use that um, that changer. What do you say?
I am. I mean, I can't prove it. Like I don't know what I would say. I would be mad for sure.
So you can't
But
prove it.
it that's
So
why I
how
was
do
like,
we stop? How do we stop anybody from using any bathroom?
you can't. That's why I said it's a weird situation. I think the best solution is just to put stalls. Now, in terms of like the spa, that's why I was saying that was like for that spa
What
situation.
about
That's
what about a
tricky.
sauna? Do I got to put a stall in a sauna?
I mean, if it's the changing room part in the sauna, I think in the sauna, don't people usually like wear towels or whatever? I don't know. I don't
Some
frequent.
people do. Some people don't.
I mean, true, because we have a sauna in the female locker room, and I'm sure there's a sauna on the male side locker room as well.
Yeah. So how do we? Even if I grant you, this is one of those things I was just thinking about. Okay, let's say they make a third bathroom or let fifth bathroom. Doesn't matter. How do we tell people where to go?
You can't. You just have to say, look, and that's the thing. It's like because that's what I was thinking about. I was like, you could just add another bathroom for whatever. Maybe you have to just limit it. Like this room is for people with children, and if you don't have a child with you, you can't go in. Like that's like that type of rule is the only rule I could think of that you could halfway defend.
Okay.
But
Cool.
you know,
Hey, man,
it's why I
if
said it's
if anyone's got an answer to that question, I definitely welcome you. At the end of the day, one of the most interesting thing about this conversation is, I've been using a male bathroom my whole life, but no one's ever asked me or like looked at as long as I didn't show my private parts, like nobody could confirm anything,
mhm,
technically speaking. So there's probably plenty of trans people who've been using whatever bathroom if they pass enough or whatever, and it
exactly,
has
and
been.
that's my
I don't know. It's
thing.
interesting. It's
It's like
interesting.
you go to the bathroom you feel comfortable in and use it like we've always been using. Just like at my house, I don't have a male and a female bathroom at my house. You go in there by yourself. The only way I could do it is just to make individual bathrooms so you go in there by yourself, and so it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Hey, listen, if anybody got an answer, I'm more than listening. It's interesting about these rules where it's like use the biological, because I was saying that too, right? And it was one of those things that I thought was interesting because I heard someone say this to me, and they're like, you should use the bathroom that's good for your body, anatomy. And I'm like, cool, but how do we know? How do we know anybody is in the correct in the correct facility? You're just looking at me and assuming. But I could just be passing really well, and I got a big old vulva, right, that you can stare at, and you never gonna know. This is interesting. It was just a thought I had in my head. And what do you do in those situations? I'm curious. And if I don't want to see it, where should I go? Hey!
Hello, I'm back for the freestyle section. Yeah, I had a different topic in mind, but to answer that really interesting kind of biological bathroom debate, no, I don't want to be transphobic or whatever. Like, people can express themselves however they want. I will respect their pronouns. It's not about that. I think it just comes down to convenience and social order. Like,
So what would you do about the bathroom?
Like, if I'm a really butch lesbian and I identify as a female, I'm not trans at all, I will still use the male bathroom. You know what I mean? Just because if I'm a really butch lesbian who passes as a man and I go into a female bathroom, I'm gonna get more looks and create more discomfort than it's worth. I'm there to like pee and then get out, maybe
So
change.
if you're a butch lesbian, you're going to the male bathroom?
Well, whichever one is more convenient.
Whoa! What about if I'm a feminine like gay guy? Should a feminine gay guy go into the female bathroom?
Depends. Whichever one is less.
Whoa! You getting spicy here. I think
shit,
there's a
well,
lot of
listen.
ladies that would disagree vehemently and say they're uncomfortable. They would probably say, I don't care how gay you are or how much of a, fucking bam or whatever it is. They'd be like, nah, I'm not with that.
You know what? I can respect that. I'm not the type of girl who really cares that much if a very obviously gay man's in the female bathroom because I know they're not predatory. I can see with my eyes that they're gay. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I respect that. I think everyone has a valid position to some point. I don't want to disrespect people's identity, so perhaps this is where that gender.
So let me go with your example. Let's say a lesbian goes into a male bathroom and a gay man goes into a female bathroom. Okay, you're hypothetical. How do I know you're gay? Do I need to watch you make out with another person? Do I have to watch your posture? Do you need a gay card?
No.
Do I need to have a video of you putting in someone's bum? Like, how do I know you're gay?
I think we look into this way too much. As in, we get so caught up on the identity politics that we lose our common sense. Like, I've seen many lesbians who are butch enough, who wear suits, who have like short cropped hair that passes men.
But what if so only hold on, okay. So they have to fit a stereotype. They have to have a certain haircut to fit that mold?
No, not necessarily. Gender binaries are getting less and less well defined. That much is true.
Okay.
Right? There are people that are very in between, who are very androgynous, maybe non-binary, and that's where like maybe they should go to the gender-neutral bathrooms. But at the same time, we have an idea of what men and women look like in our minds. We have an idea of like, oh, this is a threatening man. This is like a biological male. This is what I think they look like. This is what I think a woman looks like. Henceforth, when somebody fits into one category more cleanly than another, it just creates less chaos if they.
But what if I don't fit into either category, but I want to use the female bathroom? Like, what if I'm not part of the binary because I don't fit like the mold that you're describing of like what they should present as? But I want to pee with the ladies because I got a vagina.
Well, we should probably have a gender-neutral bathroom or like those private one.
So you think every business needs to now build a third bathroom?
Or at least have like one of those, like disabled bathrooms with the wheelchair sign on it, where you can just go in and have your privacy. Almost every building has one of those. Like I completely don't think that spas where you should be where you're typically.
Okay. So let's go with that idea. So there's a bunch of gender neutral people who don't necessarily fit the binary and don't want to use the opposite. So like you got a bunch of butch lesbians who don't want to go in the male bathroom, okay, or whatever. So they got to use a gender neutral bathroom. So the gender neutral bathroom or change room has to be as large as the other ones, or else they're going to be discriminated against because they're going to have to wait in line for all the other ones to get done.
Nah, you don't have to. There are far less non-binary people than there are binary people.
But you understand, you understand that you're still discriminating because these are biological females and they would like to use the female's bathroom?
Well, if they physically look very in between, where they show very
No,
dominating
no, it's a
male.
butch lesbian who wants to go to the female bathroom.
Well, I'm actually taking this, excuse me, from the words of like an actual butch lesbian who is completely comfortable with being female and dates women, identifies as a woman, but has used the male bathroom for like a decade because it just causes less issues that
Hey,
way.
I don't care if she's Santa Claus. It doesn't change the fact that there may be females. You can be a lesbian or not. Okay? Because right now what you're saying is that gay folks should be able to use the opposite bathroom.
Well,
But there's no way to know if they're gay, and you're saying they have to present as gay. What does that even mean? We're pretty much pigeonholing them and saying you got to look like this kind of gay to get this bathroom. That's crazy.
No, that's kind of my mistake. I put too much emphasis on the actual sexual orientation part. What I more so mean is the presentation of their gender. And I like this is where it gets touchy because a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're transphobic to people who don't pass." And well, it gets complicated. You know, this is where the water gets really hot because let's say you are like a trans woman and you're earlier in transition or you simply just don't pass that well, and you go into a female bathroom. Maybe there are some women who are going to be uncomfortable, but I think the majority of women will understand, like, this is a trans woman, we should respect them, they're not here to hurt us. But if you're like a basically entirely male looking individual who like just simply identifies as a woman and then you walk into the female, like the woman bathroom, it's people are going to raise their eyebrows and not in the same way as before. Does that make sense?
I agree.
So it's a lot about gauging people's intentions as well. And I think you can sense that, and I think we do have an innate.
Well, how do we sense that? How do we sense that when someone's going into a bathroom? I have no idea what you're thinking when you're going into a bathroom.
If they put their heads down and, you know, pee and do their stuff and they go out.
So they gotta pee like subserviently. They gotta be like this.
Well, just the way you normally do.
So,
like,
so I can't be out here with my chest out when I go to pee.
Well, Abba, if you're in a urinal,
I don't think you realize that you're not asking folks to police behavior to determine what bathroom they should be using. Who does it? Who's going to be observing? Listen, when I'm in the bathroom or the change room, the last thing I'm doing is watching how people are standing or looking or being. I'm not trying to look at nobody. So you're asking who polices these people?
Well, if somebody's being really weird in a bathroom, it's very obvious. Like if somebody you can regulate because trans people, non-binary people aren't going to go like they're here to stay. They're simply going to continue existing and perhaps, you know, proliferate because now it's cool or whatever, you know? So like I don't necessarily think the right thing to do is to just say you've got to be biologically female because like you said, there are people who don't look biologically female but like are. So I don't know. I think a lot of this just needs to be left up to the individual establishments and the people within there. And if they're uncomfortable and they raise concerns, then the establishment should do something about that.
So should some establishments be allowed to not allow trans people to use the bathroom that they'd like?
Yeah. Yes. And that's like maybe shitty for the trans people. I can empathize with that. But this makes me think of that issue of, oh, like you're a trans woman, but you have male parts and you want to get waxed. You know, maybe the female employees are uncomfortable. Maybe they just simply aren't trained to do it or they don't want to, and that's okay. So, yeah, it's up to an establishment. And if that makes some people unhappy, then they don't have to go there. They can go somewhere else that does support their needs.